On my previous video, I was talking about software and how by making it simpler to make, we actually need more software. But one thing I didn't make clear is that I'm not talking about replacing how software is made. And actually, this is a comment in general for how we might or not develop software in the future with AI. We're just adding a new category of software production. So the same way that we still do not code software for airplanes or certain medical devices, the same way we do for some random SaaS product or even very large scale Google, Meta. There's differences of how we produce software depending on the type of software being produced. Now will make sense to produce software that before was just too expensive to produce. This could be hyper specialized solutions, like maybe even something that solves a problem to a very small group of people, but it makes sense to do. Now, it wouldn't necessarily go and hire a bunch of software engineers to do it. That's why it was high cost. Yeah, it's introducing a new layer to this, a layer for which the trade-off of quality for the cost applies very well. Some software that previously was being done the old-fashioned way, or the high-cost way, sorry, it's not the old-fashioned in a bad sense. This is not to say that it won't be replaced. Some of it, there's an overlap there for which it's okay to trade off quality for some cost. Imagine maybe a pyramid where like the testing and all that needs to happen is very high quality, very high accuracy. We talk about airplanes, medical devices, etc. Then you can imagine like the different layers where you are decreasing that type of check in exchange for like some better cost. And I think this relationship is important. And I think this is opening the door to make more software that couldn't be done before. More people have access to certain solutions that before weren't possible. Maybe my dad now will have access to produce his own automations. Maybe he won't, but anyway, he could produce his own automations for his hyper-local business in the community. And maybe this will empower certain communities to do more with what they have. We'll see where it goes. Let me know what you think. Bye.